Hey everyone, my name is Michelle Edmonds, and I'm the Life and Wellness Coach at the Serenity Weight Loss and Detoxification Program. We're starting our video series for the year. Hope you enjoy it and hope you enjoy following us. Make sure you like it if you do. The first thing I want to do is to start out, I'm going to start off hitting hard. I'm going to start off by answering one of the more common questions in weight loss, or I should say the common comments in weight loss, which is for anyone who's overeating, they say, I'm an emotional overeater. Wouldn't you agree? Haven't you said that yourself? I'm an emotional overeater. I'm not sure that you know exactly what that means. And so let's try to unpack that in the time that we have. I'm not going to keep you long in any of these videos. Then the next one, we're going to talk about blood type eating and personality. But for now, because I am a counseling psychologist, I want to kick off and talk about what do we mean by mind-body detox, first of all. And secondly, what do you mean by I'm an emotional overeater? After all, don't you eat when you go to the funeral? Now, is that emotional overeating? Then you eat, of course, when you go to a funeral. Then, of course, you eat when you are studying for a hard test that might determine your career. But then you don't eat at all, sometimes all day when you're busy. Isn't that true? So a good theory on being overweight or obese, those are two distinct categories, by the way, determined by your doctors, by the American Medical Association. For either one of those two categories, you have to explain not only why you overeat, but why you don't eat. Now, to that end, I'm going to put forth some areas for you to think about. I would grab a pen if you can. Of course, this is a video. You can look it over, watch it as many times as you want, and take notes. But the first thing I want to talk about, and I'm going to grab a chair. The first thing I want to talk about is what exactly is the addiction? Now, the American Medical Association said in June of 2013 that being overweight and the category of being obese are both addictions. Now, what the heck does that mean? Well, does it mean that you're addicted to food? No, that doesn't quite follow, does it? I am suggesting that they would have done you a good job. They would have done you a good service if they explained what they meant. Now, this is their term, not mine. So let's try to unpack it. What did it mean? That you're addicted, and that you have an addiction, and that you're obese or over. What does that mean? Well, first of all, obese is just 30 pounds over your healthy weight. A lot of people don't realize that. They think obese means 400 pounds or even better. That's not true. Don't listen to those TV shows. Only 30 pounds over your healthy weight. That means if you're supposed to be 150, as a female, for example, 180 is obese. Okay, now that we've defined that, let's talk a little bit about what could they be talking about? What might they mean? I'm suggesting, as a counseling psychologist, and I got to hit this from all angles. I'm a counseling psychologist and I'm also a nutritionist. So now let's hit this from those two angles, okay? Poor food management, I'm saying, is a lack of self-love. Because think about it. If 1 minute you're overeating and putting in wrong foods that could give you diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, the next minute you're denying your body food. You're going all day not having any food at all. Imagine doing that to a baby. Technically, if you did that to your baby, that's abuse. So it surely must be a sign of a lack of self-love if you do it to yourself. Now, if my theory holds out, trust me it does, let's talk about how the fat might serve you. Okay, so now self-love we have on the table so far. Self-love drives the behavior of overeating, eating the wrong foods, or what we call in the program sabotaging, or not eating all day long. And by the way, It also includes not even drinking enough water. Many times people who are overweight or obese, remember those are two distinct categories defined by your doctor's American Medical Association. So if it also means not giving your body sufficient water, do you know that people who are overweight and obese also tend to be the highest group of people that do not take their medication? So now, what kind of person doesn't give themselves enough water, doesn't give themselves enough food some days, then other days gives it too much food? Then there are days when it sabotages and gives it nothing but garbage, almost like your garbage can. You don't give it enough sleep, and you have an arsenal of medication at home. You don't take that either. And by the way, a lot of y'all don't take the vitamins that I give you. What could that be but a lack of self-love? That sounds harsh, doesn't it? And even harsher would be the term self-hate. But let's go further. Let's keep unpacking this. Because once you get to be overweight and obese, then you are what people would say is a fat. Okay. How would fat serve you? If you are overweight or obese, do you realize I can't even hug you as closely? Your heart is surrounded by fat. I can't even get my arms around you. So fat protects a person from intimacy. So, number one, you have the issue of self-love that's driving this whole process. Then number two, when you get there, where? To the state of being overweight or obese, then we have the issue of, well, then how does the fat itself serve you? Number three, the act of binge eating, which is a different behavior still from just merely overeating. But all abuse of the body with food is anger and rebellion. Think about it. Any addict is rebellious. Wouldn't you agree? Do you know any compliant meth addict? I challenge you not. There aren't any, ain't good language. I know it, but it makes my point. There ain't no cooperative cokeheads. You go up to a meth addict and expect cooperation, you're going to be very disappointed. Alcoholics don't give a flying fluke what you think about them. All they want is their booze. So all addicts, I think it's safe to say, are rebellious and have as an undercurrent anger. Okay. Okay. So now self-love starts the process going. The fat then begins to serve a purpose, protection from intimacy, from getting close to people. The act of overeating and binge eating is an expression, therefore, of anger. And I will do as I please. Thank you very much. Think about it. Many of you joined the program, and the first thing that you'll do is you buck the system. You'll call it that you don't understand. You missed the instructions. That's what you'll call it. Because nobody likes to be a bad guy. And that's okay. I'm well trained. I can handle it. But just letting you know, I'm just saying. That's what you do. Okay. Let's play this game of I don't understand. Let's go along with the game, okay? I don't understand. I don't know where I am in the program. Well, I'm going to tell you, very few rebellious teens know where they are in the program. So I think I pretty much nailed that what's going on with any addiction is anger and rebellion. Now, this might surprise you. Let's go to Genesis 3:3 through 5. God said, if you eat from that tree, not an apple, by the way. An apple is not mentioned in the Bible, not at all. But it does say if you eat from that tree, not all trees. It said from that tree. The devil says, tempting Eve, if you eat from that tree, he just thinks, he's just afraid that you'll be like him. So Eve goes ahead, according to Genesis, and eats from the wrong tree. Now, when you deliberately do something that someone specifically said don't do, in this case God, that's rebellion. Okay. Now, a lot of what we do is we bring this program into the church. And that's what I talk about when you join, that we have what's called a Serenity Challenge. That is the portion of the program that goes into the churches for 14 days. We hit them hard. Typically, people lose weight, release weight between about 10 pounds during the first 14 days. So we go in, we hit hard, we detox, we change diet, we add vitamins and minerals, then we're out of there. Then, of course, anyone wants to join in beyond that first 14 days that's sponsored by the grant, wonderful. But you're not obligated to do so. But the point is, I don't know if a lot of you realize Genesis is about rebellion and obedience. And what happens when one is disobedient regarding food. If you're going to be like God, then that means like God means to be all controlling and all knowing and all powerful, doesn't it? Wouldn't you agree? That's the definition of God. All powerful, all knowing, all controlling. That's what omnipotent means, right? If you don't use the word God, don't get all caught up in terminology. Divine power, whatever you see as being the greater source. Now, if then the Bible can talk about that overeating, or eating from the wrong tree is about trying to be like God, then me as your coach, doing a mind, body, spirit approach to weight loss, I have to address the issue of control, and I have to ask you, what is it that you're trying to control? Ironically, the first thing you try to control is the coach. Okay, everyone. With Easter around the corner, not too far away, I thought it was a good time to just whet your palate about what this thing called overeating, emotional overeating really is all about. Emotional overeating is really not a correct term, because there is nothing that you do where emotions are not involved. So to say, I'm an emotional overeater, that's not really telling us much. It's accurate, but it's not telling us much. But even in its accuracy, many of you don't understand what you're saying. That's it. That's all I have for today, everyone. I hope you got something out of this. We'll be back again. We're going to talk about blood type eating and personality soon. That's going to be our next conversation. I thank you so much for joining us. Hit us up if you like what I had to say. If you got something from it, if any of it resonated, hit me up. Give me a like on YouTube. Share this video. If you want to reach me, I'm at 404-445-8579, or you can go to Facebook, Serenity Weight Loss, or Serenity Weight Loss and Detoxification Program.com. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you. See you next time. Bye.